Good morning and welcome to Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, April 19th, 2024, we bring you the latest on the global military support for Ukraine amid its ongoing conflict with Russia. The United States, continuing as the largest supporter, has committed over $42 billion in military aid since February 2022, though a further $55 billion is currently held up by congressional disputes. Germany follows with a significant pledge of over $19 billion, including a freshly promised third Patriot missile system to enhance Ukraine's air defenses. In other news, the United Kingdom steps up with new commitments totaling over $3 billion, pushing its total aid to nearly $10 billion. Denmark and Norway shine in terms of GDP ratio contributions, with Denmark augmenting its support by $3.5 billion recently. The European Union is not far behind, facilitating an additional $5 billion through its European Peace Facility. Furthermore, smaller yet substantial pledges come from the Netherlands and Canada, each ensuring over $2 billion in aid, focusing on strengthening Ukraine's military capabilities against Russian forces. As the situation develops, these international supports play a crucial role in Ukraine's defense strategy. Stay tuned for more detailed analyses and updates right here on Hot Topic and Fresh News. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hot Topic and Fresh News. I'm your host Emily, reporting daily with the latest and greatest from around the globe. Joining me today is our insightful commentator, David. Together, we dive into the heart of today's pressing news, right here on your favorite news podcast. And remember, if you enjoy staying updated with us, make sure to subscribe to our channel, enable notifications, and don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Sharing our podcast with your friends and family not only helps you stay connected with the world but also supports us to continue delivering top-notch news content.
It's great to be here, Emily. There's always something new and important to discuss, isn't there?
Absolutely, David. And speaking of important, today's headlines will definitely catch your attention. You won't believe what I'm about to disclose. Stay tuned as we unpack how the world is rallying to support Ukraine amid ongoing conflicts. It's crucial, it's timely, and it affects us all on a global scale. Hot off the press. Moving forward in our discussion, it's vital to point out that more than 2 years after Russia's full-scale invasion, Ukraine is still heavily reliant on international support to fend off attacks, especially from the eastern and southern fronts. The situation is dire, and the Ukrainian army continues to make urgent appeals for more ammunition and air defense systems. The United States remains the largest provider of military assistance, having pledged the equivalent of over $42 billion. Despite this substantial support, it's interesting to note that additional funding is currently stalled, with a $55 billion package held up in Congress. A vote on this is expected very soon.
That's quite significant. Could you share more about the support from other countries like Germany and the UK?
Absolutely. Germany has significantly increased its aid, promising a third Patriot missile system just last weekend, which will strengthen Ukraine's air defenses considerably. This brings Germany's total aid to over $19 billion. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom has also stepped up, announcing additional aid that brings its total military commitments to over $10 billion.
And what about the smaller countries? How are they contributing relative to their size?
Great question. Denmark, for instance, although a small nation, stands out for its substantial contributions relative to its gross domestic product. Since November 2023, Denmark has increased its pledges by $3.5 billion, committing a total of over $9 billion in military aid, half of which has already been allocated. Furthermore, the European Union continues to play a crucial role through the European Peace Facility, an off-budget financing instrument that allows it to pool resources and streamline support to Ukraine, adding an additional layer of coordination and funding to the bilateral support from individual member states. As these countries rally to provide crucial support, the international dynamics and Ukraine's resilience continue to be a critical narrative in global politics. Stay tuned for more updates right here. Hot off the press. In addition to the support from the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom, other European nations are also making significant contributions. The Netherlands, for example, has pledged over $4 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Just this March, a new security agreement was signed, allocating an additional $2 billion for the year 2024.
It's clear there's a strong European consensus on supporting Ukraine. What about the contributions from Norway and Poland?
Norway has adopted a multi-year strategy, which includes both humanitarian and military aid, under their Nansen Support Program for Ukraine. They've pledged nearly $4 billion in military aid, $1 billion of which has already been allocated. Poland, sharing borders with both Russia and Ukraine, has pledged around $3 billion and serves as a crucial logistical hub for transporting Western military aid to Ukraine.
And outside of Europe?
Canada and Sweden have also stepped up. Canada has signed a security agreement with Ukraine, pledging more than $2 billion in military aid by the end of this year. Similarly, Sweden has committed over $2 billion, initially starting with protective equipment but now also including tanks and modern weapon systems. As this intricate web of support unfolds, it's clear that Ukraine's struggle resonates globally, pulling together a coalition that spans continents. The ongoing commitments reflect not just a response to immediate needs but a long-term stance in this geopolitical crisis. Stay with us as we continue to cover these developments. Hot off the press. Thanks for tuning into Hot Topic and Fresh News today. We've delved deep into the critical international military support provided to Ukraine amid ongoing conflicts. It's been fantastic having you with us. Please subscribe and activate those notifications so you won't miss our future insights. Sharing and commenting really helps us reach more listeners who want to stay on top of these important issues.
And hey, remember to tell everyone you know, whether it's over morning coffee or your next Zoom meeting, spread the word. We've got some really interesting topics lined up that you won't want to miss. Make sure you're tuned in daily.
We're incredibly grateful for your time and engagement. Looking forward to our next episode where we'll continue to bring the latest and most pressing news straight to you.
Keep those eyes and ears peeled. You never know what's next, but it's sure to be something to talk about.
Stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.